Our last storyteller is joining us from Oakland, California. His name is David Rodriguez. He is a San Francisco Moth GrandSLAM champion who honed his craft as a middle school teacher who hears daily tales of drama and intrigue that last much longer than 6 minutes. Please welcome to the screen, David.
Thank you. Yeah, so my girlfriend, she's one of those people that has never seen like any movie, you know, like Star Wars, whatever, you name it, she hasn't seen it. So I get really excited, like, oh, drop what you're doing. We need to watch this right now. And just for anything, like one time I was like, you haven't seen Kramer versus Kramer? Like, stop what you're doing. We need to see Kramer versus Kramer right now. So I was doing this with the movie Ghost when I found out she hadn't seen Ghost, right here in this living room that I'm sitting in right now. And we were watching Ghost, and it got to that scene where Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze are walking in this, you know, dark alley, little ominous, and she decides this is the right location to have this really important relationship talk, where she says, you know, you never say, I love you. And Patrick Swayze says, yeah, I do all the time. I say ditto. And then Demi Moore replies, that doesn't count. To which Patrick Swayze and my girlfriend Rue simultaneously reply, that counts. You know, she later explained to me that, you know, when she was growing up, I love you was not something that they said in her family, really. Her father died when she was very young, before she was old enough to remember it. And her life was about survival, and she came to this country from Taiwan when she was very young, and you know, it was a life about action. And just to give you an idea of kind of what kind of incredible person she was, action-oriented person, I asked her once, you know, given that you were one of 2 Asian people growing up in Iowa, she was an identical twin, did you get bullied a lot? And she said, yes, I did. I said, well, how did you deal with getting bullied? And she said, well, because I was so motivated to learn English, I carried a dictionary around with me, and I would look up the words they said and add them to my vocabulary. You know, that's the kind of person she is. But so I knew that she would, that I love yous were not going to be a big part of this relationship. But that's really tough for me because, like, I'm an American male. Like, we operate in words, not actions. You know, we write declarations of independence and then don't really follow through on what that beautiful document says. We say I love you and then don't do the dishes. You know, that's my style. Like, I didn't quite know how to operate in this relationship. And I knew I wasn't, you know, ever going to hear her say it. I was going to have to anchor on other signs that she loved me. But still, I did start to say it. I mean, I did start saying I love you to her, as one does when you fall in love. And I knew that she wasn't going to be, I knew she wasn't going to say it back. There wasn't that expectation. But what I didn't quite expect is for her to just kind of glare at me like she hated me, like I'd done something wrong the first time I said it. But I kept saying it. And then one day, she looked at me very quizzically and she said, what do you mean when you say, I love you? She was sort of saying it like, you know, like a John Stossel investigative report or something, like tonight on 2020, people across the country are saying, I love you, we investigate. You know, like she was genuinely kind of mystified by this phrase. And I realized, to my surprise, I had absolutely no answer for her about why I said, I love you. I just kind of found myself at a loss for words. And so I resolved that every time I said, I love you, I was going to explain why. You know, like I was going to say the why, like, I love you and I'm saying it because right now, you know, the light is catching your face in a certain way and it's glowing and it's reminding me of how lucky I am. Or, you know, I love you and because, you know, like, or like in the kitchen, you know, she's chopping vegetables and I love you because you're so good at chopping vegetables and I learned how to protect my fingers when I watch you. And then sometimes I would just say it like reflexively, like passing her in the bathroom and say I love you, and then I have to come running back and be like, because you always give me like a wide berth when I walk past you in the bathroom. And she would just kind of glare at me like, no. And then, you know, we just carried on this way, and I sort of learned to stop waiting for her to say I love you, or to stop using that as sort of a like marker of a phase in a relationship. Started learning to appreciate sort of what she did for me and not what she said to me, and tried to take more action myself and be more someone that shows love instead of talks about love. And I was going to this concert one night. It was a Sinead O'Connor concert. I'll actually I'll show you this awesome Facebook picture. This picture I took really captures this concert. Another great concert photo here. So I was at this concert. There's Sinead O'Connor on stage, and she was singing this song called "Queen of Denmark." You should listen to it. It's like this haunting, like kind of really specific song about what total bullshit love is, you know, and it was just shaking me to my soul. And I was just suddenly feeling like, you know, everything I'd ever done wrong in a relationship was just kind of coming up, and the doom that relationships represent was just being, you know, sung at me with the force of 1,000 decibels, when I felt a buzz in my pocket, and I pulled out my phone and I saw this message. I love you because you're the best man I've ever known. I hope you're having a good time. You know, and I suddenly realized sort of how technology can, seems like it takes us further apart, but sometimes, you know, we need a little distance to get closer. And I found myself at a total loss for words for like one of the first times in my life. And so I tapped back hard. Thank you very much.